Hi. Good to know that I'm heard here because previously we had some tech issues from Beta 2. We heard their voices, their music, and I hope that it won't gonna ruin our presentation today. So, my name is Jonikas, and I'm not a developer. I have to admit that for me it was very strange. I felt like an alien infiltrated in some kind of a tribe. Everyone's a developer here, like knowing things about code, and I'm just a marketing guy. I'm just pretending, to be someone who fits in and comes into the right place. And I will share with you, I wouldn't call it tips and tricks, but actually tactics and real thing that works in actual life, how to get customers before you build the product, and or how to build the customer waiting list while you're building the product. And briefly, I'll introduce myself, not just to brag like, hey, what I've done and blah, blah, blah kind of stuff, but for you to be assured that these things that I share with you actually work, because I implemented those things, those tactics for my personal products. I'm the author of Startup Evolution Curve, the book that became one of top 5 best-selling books on Amazon. And as one of my friends told that probably this screenshot, Donatas, puts some honey on your heart. And yes, it is. It is the screenshot of Amazon top best-selling books. And you probably know this guy in the first place, Elon Musk. So he was the only one whom I couldn't beat and knock off from the first place. So your today's lecture stands in the second place. So at least in some point of time, I was the neighbor of Elon Musk, at least on Amazon charts. And this book was acknowledged in different countries, in Georgia, Chile, Mexico, Argentina, United States, and so on and so forth. Thanks to this book, I was even interviewed on Forbes, and I was featured on paper magazine, Forbes. For me, it was like, come on, I'm just a guy from Lithuania, from the middle of nowhere. I'm not even in Vilnius, I'm in Klaipėda guy. And Forbes reaches out to me, thanks to this product, thanks to this book. And later on, I even figured out that this book was used as the course book for MBA students in California State University. I've never been in the United States, but they have been using my book to teach their students in California. That's it. And another one, product, I launched a course on Udemy a couple of years after publishing the book. And the course was general for startups, like how to launch your startup without those costly mistakes, costly failures. And I got an email saying that my course was ranked, was announced, was voted as the #4 best program in the world for startups in 2022. How I made these things happen? It was not just of a pure luck or that I'm kind of like a smart guy. No, I applied those few tactics, and the main of them was building the waiting list while you build the product. Just imagine, if you build really perfect product, you launch it, and what's next? You have to get customers to use that product to pay you some cash. But here's another one scenario. If you launch the product and you have the customer waiting list of 10,000 people, or at least 1,000 people who were interested in the product that you are building, not all of them will subscribe and start paying for your software, but at least part of them will do. And this proves what I actually did. When I was writing the book, for 9 months, I was building the waiting list of customers. When I was creating the Udemy course, I was building the waiting list of those who would enroll in this Udemy course. And today, I'm gonna cover, do you hear echo or it's normal for you? Normal, cool. So I'm gonna cover 3 areas. The first one is, what's the major shift in SaaS business? I'll share some numbers. All these slides will be available for you. The sound is gone? You can, okay, cool. The second part is what actually you can do to be sure that the thing that you're building will have a chance for success in the market. And there are 2 different scenarios. Either you're building a copycat, well, who am I to judge? You can build another one product that has already similar products in the market, CRM, email notifications, and blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. Or you can build something new. Absolutely innovative stuff where nobody never ever has built. And you have no clue whether it will be successful or not. Because if you have competitors, you can kind of like spy on them and see, well, what are chances, So we're gonna cover all of those. The reality in SaaS business is that it has never been easier and faster to build new products. But it has never been more expensive to get customers. And 92% of developers in the United States use AI coding. And 82% of global developers use them at least weekly. 74% of developers acknowledge that this helps them building products faster, better. And it leads that you have shorter time to market. You can bring these products faster into the market. You can lower costs of your MVP, minimal viable product, and you have improved responsiveness. You can make changes in the product much, much faster compared to what was like half a year or a year ago. And not long ago, you had to spend like 6 to 12 months to build the MVP. But now, it's just weeks or days. And I've been coaching some startups who managed to build the MVP during the weekend. You know, just after the Friday party, they, oh, we have a great idea. And on Monday, they have a product. Like crappy, shitty product, but it still works and it delivers value to customers. They can go into the market and test it out. Yep. And this one was a bit shocking for me and made me to think, well, what's in it for that? 63% of vibe coding users are non-developers. Welcome to the new reality. And I can't tell what the quality of these products are because they are not built by developers, but the market is becoming more and more saturated of software. Because anyone can build software. Is it crappy software or good software? Who knows? But they have their own share of voice in the market. You will need to compete with all of them to explain that your product is better. And kind of like a good news is that for the third year in a row, the biggest industry for startups is actually, how would you guess? Software and data applications. Software and data startups make 1/3 of all startups in the world. Yeah, so it's kind of like cool to be in this niche, which is quite wide. 1/3 is software startup. But software or any product without sales is not a business, it's just a hobby. You build something fun, something kind of useful for you, for maybe few people, but how to make money, how to get paid for that. And here we come down to reasons of failure. According to Failure.com in 2021, it was quite a while, 4 years ago, 56% of startups failed because of marketing and sales, and only 6% because of tech issues. So kind of like the reality is that you know how to build really good product. It's not about technical issues, but about selling and getting customers. That's the main struggle. And the newest data in 2024 shows that reasons why SaaS startups, specifically SaaS startups, failed: no market need, half of them. Half of the products were built without any market validation and they were not needed in the market. Run out of cash? Well, if you would have customers, you wouldn't run out of cash. It's self-explanatory. Got outcompeted. If you would knew who are your competitors, how you gonna win them, you wouldn't get outcompeted. And this is another one shocking number, for me at least, as a marketer. In 2020, you had to spend on average $1.32 to get $1 of annual recurring revenue to get a new customer. How do you think, what is the number now? Has it decreased, increased, stayed more or less the same? Increased, yeah. Now you spend $2 to get $1 in a year. And it's like the industry benchmark. It means if you do everything right as everybody else in the market, if you're a newbie, if you're not a marketer, if you don't have marketing and sales team, probably this number will be way, way higher. What does it tell? You need to retain a customer for 2 years to get your cash back that you invested in getting that customer if you do nothing additionally. Another interesting number is customer acquisition cost payback period. Like you've invested some money to get that customer, so how much time do you have to retain that customer to get your money back? So in a hybrid model, we can talk about product-led, sales-led business models, but it's 12 months within a year. You might ask Jonikas how this could be if you show that you invest $2 to get $1 per year, and now you get your money back in one year. How could you explain that? Any ideas? Exactly. It's not enough to build the software and trust that you get your subscriptions paid. You need to upsell, you need to cross-sell, you need to deliver extra services to get some extra revenue from the same customer. Only this way you will get your customer acquisition costs back than most people in the market. And if you would ask me, how much does it cost to get a customer for SaaS business? Here's the answer. If interested, well, you will have all these slides. So based on different industries, and these numbers are actual numbers from one of agencies that worked with SaaS businesses from 2022 to 2025. Multiple areas, multiple businesses, and on average, it's about $700 to get a customer. You have to invest this much to get a customer. If you are in fintech, you will pay almost $1,500 to get a customer, on average. If you pay less and get a customer, nice job. You are very efficient in your marketing. Otherwise, crap, And so if it's such a brutal world, so why do people build SaaS businesses? And the answer is here. Customer lifetime value. This is how much money you're going to earn from one customer on average for as long as you retain it as a customer. Because this customer may be your customer, may your user for 3 years, 4 years, just name it. And the answer is, on average, 3.8, almost 4 times. So even if you spend $2 to get a customer, on average you would get back about $8. That's a new norm. So it means there is some space to spend even more on marketing and sales, because there is still a possibility for payback. So the question is, are you building something innovative or it's a copycat? As I said, I'm not here to judge, because you can build even the same CRM, but if it has some unique features, why not? Maybe it's going to be used. So if you would take something from this lecture, from my speech, I would wish that it would be this one slide, because it shows you few critical points, what you should go through to make sure that you're building something that is worth for the market. So first of all, if you're building the copycat, you should check the market size and revenue potential. Is there a business opportunity out there? It's not just about building really nice product, but is there a market for it? What's the competitive situation? Who are main competitors? How they are winning? How they are building? And I will share some tools, some links to do that, actually. The next question is how to reach customers. Because if you do it very efficiently, you will pay $2 to get $1 per year. I want you to be more sophisticated and pay less to get that customer. Finally, why to choose your product? Because there are competitors already in the market. How your product is better, why they should pay you instead of any already established competitor. If you don't have answers to these 4 questions, don't build it. Unless you want to have it as a hobby and to see, well, how it goes. Maybe that's cool. But if you're expecting to build it as a business, please be sure you have answers to these questions. If we are talking about totally innovative stuff, something that was never built before, you need to get the real-world feedback, and we will talk a bit about this. You need to talk to your potential customers to get the feedback. Well, does it make sense, or am I going into a swamp and I'm going to lose myself in it? Revenue-ready demo. Without building the product, you show the whole idea, you show the pitch, and you get the feedback. And we will talk about what kind of feedback that could be. Early adopters advantage, pre-sale. If possible, please, please, please try to pre-sell your product before you build it. Unless you can build it within a weekend, that's cool, And customer waiting list. The major success lies in the customer waiting list. If you can't manage to build at least a tiny customer waiting list, there might be a signal that your idea is not as great as you thought before. And that's, that shouldn't be a hard feeling for you. Well, it doesn't make sense to build it, I'm going to go and build something else. So scan the market if you're already building the copycat product. So how to do that? You can use Benchmark It AI. You will have these slides, all these links, because those few numbers that I shared with you, some of them are taken from this side. You check industry benchmarks and you know what to expect if you are like an average company, average business. And if they struggle, it means you will struggle even more because you are a newbie in the market. Perplexity, who doesn't use it? You can use any other AI research agent to do that research for you. Proven SaaS, interesting product. I try to reach out to them, get into more personal feedback about their value proposition, but I didn't get the response yet. So I don't get any affiliates from these recommended tools. But what's interesting about that they suggest they have access to more than 14,000 SaaS businesses, and they can estimate the revenue potential. How they do this? Again, it's good, and it's also not sufficient enough to make solid conclusions, but you could see the exact funnels and site path, how they try to sell to the customer. Top performing ads and revenue estimation and growth. So if you are thinking about, well, I'm going to build this kind of software, you can go and check it out and see, well, how much they're making money. But be aware. Yes, it saves a lot of time and gives you a glimpse of what you might expect, but it's just estimations and possibly wrong estimations. I sent them this hard question, I didn't get the answer, and probably, the answer is not that way that they, would be very confident about that. The main thing is they make predictions based on Facebook Ads Manager, what ads have been running for how long, they check CPMs, how these ads cost, and they make a presumption that nobody would burn money without getting paid back. And I asked them, okay, what's your payback period in your formula? Is it 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months? No answer. So yeah, this is the tool, but be aware about that. SparkToro, if you want to learn more audience, where they hang out, what they read, what they're interested in, really amazing tool. It costs a bit, but it gives valuable insights. Glimpse, you can discover trends, Google Trends before they actually become trends, give you some insights on it. And SimilarWeb is one of the main tools that digital marketers use to spy on how competitors get traffic to their sales pages, to their sites. I guess it's about $200 a month, and you can get really, really amazing insights. Is it SEO, what kind of ads are running and out there. Built With, do you know this site? Yeah, somebody knows. So this is interesting for 2 reasons. If you are building software and you need to make some integrations with some other tools, some other softwares, you can check Built With. So how many sites are using this particular technology? And you will know, well, the market, how large is the market size? But if you are targeting users of specific software, of specific technology, you could get the list of them from Built With. $400 or something like that, and you can download 70,000 companies or whatever, But again, how are you going to reach out to them? This is the different question. Now, if we are getting to something new. Before that, I talked if you're building a copycat, you check what's going on in the market and you get an idea. Does it make sense or not at all? But if you're building something new, I have created the double sprint method. We've been using it in practice with SaaS founders. And by the way, I will give you a gift. You can obviously make those photos, but at the end, I will share the link and the QR code where you can get to one of my sites and get access for 1 month, absolutely for free for all these trainings and coachings. So you can get access to the whole content. Yeah. So the essence of the double sprint method is that you create simultaneously the product and the business. And you build the product based on feedback from customers that you got from the market. If you didn't get positive feedback from the customer, should you build the product? Probably no, unless it's your hobby and you want to invent, some crazy new wheel. Maybe that makes sense. So now let's get into the business side. Come on, I'm not a developer, and you know better for me how to build these products, but I'm here to deliver you on marketing and on sales. So how to make sure that product that you're building will be successful in the market. I can't guarantee that your product will be successful, and that's a good news, because if you know that it's not going to be successful in the market, you simply don't build it. You don't waste your time on it. So the first step is idea and vision. What exactly do you want to build? What problem are you trying to solve? Yes, you can sell on vitamins, but what's easier to sell? Painkillers after the party or vitamins after the party? Obviously, who was yesterday in the party, painkiller is much more better product. Honest vision. How will we differentiate? And one of the silliest differentiations that I heard was, our CRM will have dark mode. What? You know, like, I have no other comments, you know, you're not my client, you know, and I have no idea how I could help you, you know, because, you know, that's it, period. No? What do we want to achieve? This is the honest vision for yourself. And mainly I meet two types of founders. One type is SMB mindset founder. I want to build a business for myself, you know, maybe for my family, for a few colleagues. We run it, you know, we have like a job for ourselves, some kind of like a revenue stream. That's nice. Other founders have much, much broader vision. They want to build viable and scalable startups. Such products that could be sold as the business, I don't know, like to Google or to anyone else, you know. And we are talking about millions and billions. Selling the business is the idea. So what's your vision initially? The next part is market research. We covered quite much of these things when we talked about copycat products. You still have to check your indirect competitors. Because if you're trying to solve some kind of a problem, people have already been solving that problem, but with different means. There was no software, but maybe they were doing this with Excel spreadsheet. I don't know, just check what were solutions. Tam sam som, like Chinese words, like, but it's about the market size. And quite often I see startups make mistake, well, total addressable market and huge number. This is bullshit, sorry. You need to check serviceable, obtainable market. The market that you can serve and that you could obtain. It means you can get those customers, you can win their businesses. The next part is competitor offers. What are their pluses and minuses, pros and cons, you know, and how you're going to slide in between them, how to win, what's your niche. If you don't have the answer here, don't build a product, not yet. Or you will have to find the point of differentiation somewhere far in advance in marketing and in sales, but your product won't have the competitive advantage inside the product. Then it will be like just a marketing trick why people buy your product. And I want you to build really good product, amazing products that have competitive advantage inside the product already. Target segment, I would suggest you to focus on 3 to 5 ICPs, ideal customer profiles. Do you know what it is? Ideal customer profile is, you could treat it as a use case scenario. Who might use my software? Why would they use it? You know, and for whom it would make most sense. You want to be sure that you are solving an urgent problem for that ICP. This person feels that pain. This person has an urgent need to fix that, because if it's not urgent, it will be very difficult to sell it. And this person or company has money for the solution. If at least one of the criteria is missed, it's not your ICP. They don't have the problem, or it's not urgent, or they don't have money. Don't chase them. Next part is your value proposition. So you did the analysis, so okay, before coding, so what kind of value are we gonna create? So you go through problems, jobs, and gains. Do you know the book, Value Proposition Design? If you want to dive deeper into value creation, I strongly recommend Value Proposition Design. It's a really nice book, a lot of tiny pictures, like, you know, fun thing to read, you know, less text, more pictures, that's cool. In general, it says we need to identify our ideal customers, problems, jobs, and gains, like some value that they even haven't dreamed about, but come on, that would be super amazing for them. And you focus on those problems, jobs, and gains that you could evaluate at least 8 out of 10. If the importance is 5, well, when you ask the customer to pay money for solving that problem, come on, it's just 5 out of 10. Maybe I can live with it, I have other priorities. It will be difficult to sell. So you want to focus what are 8, 9, and 10s. And always remember the 10x rule. Not necessarily you're going to be successful applying it, but just remember it. Do you know what it is? 10x rule means that we try to create 10 times bigger value. 10 times bigger value than it's currently in the market. Remember, we are talking about true innovation. Not just a copycat, which is better by, 5% or 10%. We are looking, can we create, the solution that is 10 times better than using Excel spreadsheet? Saves 10 times, the resources, times, and etc. If you can create something that is 2 times better or 3 times better, it's still a good thing. You can go into the market. Risk reversal. How are you going to protect them from the risk? If you want to pre-sell, you need to have the answer to all of their possible doubts, and you will have to take the risk on you. Later on, we could discuss, even during the coffee break or whatever, if you have any specific questions, how you could handle risk reversal in your particular case, just come to me, we will brainstorm that. Yeah, short and punchy value proposition, just in one, maximum 2 sentences. Discovery interviews, talk to potential customers, don't build the product, first of all talk to them, and at least have 5 to 10 interviews, at least. And initially do one-on-one interviews, not group sessions. Why? Because when we have group sessions, there is like a subjective thing that, well, I said this is bullshit, everybody else, yeah, probably this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But maybe those 3 people thought this is a brilliant idea, but they didn't want to admit that. Business model, I would suggest you to check Lean Canvas. Do you know it is? By Ash Moria. And there's really nice blog, Unfair Competitive Advantage. Can you nail it? It's not necessary you're going to have the answer from the very beginning, but check Ash Moria Lean Canvas. Yeah, that's true, bless you. Yeah, positioning statement in the marketing message. So how are you going to present your product? Because it's like maybe you're creating a new category in the industry. So how it's going to sound? USP, and try to build the story that sells. Headline, problem, results, and proof that it's really deliverable. Pricing and sales, oh gosh. We could spend the whole day on this, but just few things to remember. What's the maximum price you could charge? How can you justify this maximum price? And what are your margins and costs in it? Just do the math and then go and play around with this. This is really nice approach to the market. When you say, well, it costs like $20 per month. And the users, yeah, cool, this is good. I mean, then you add per seat. $20 per month per seat. If you want 2 seats, it will be $40. Okay, cool. When you talk to the next customer, you can increase the price. It's $49 per month. And you see their reaction. If it's, well, still good to go, to the next user, you can even increase the price. But if the first few users reject your pricing, well, you probably missed the 10x rule. You didn't create value, you haven't communicated that value in the right way. Channels and lead capture experiments, well, main numbers, customer acquisition cost and customer lifetime value. I already shared with you some stats about that. This is the part where you try to get leads, where you try to get potential customers interested in what you are building. You can build a simple landing page, share with it in a conference, run Facebook ads, Google ads, you just name it, and see what are the numbers, what are the metrics. How much does it cost you to get the lead? I don't suggest that you should spend, 1,000 euros to get a single customer for pre-sale, but just, test the temperature. Pre-sale. And in terms of pre-sale, we can get 3 types of commitment from potential customers. Obviously, money is the best one. If they put cash on the table, I know that I'm building something solid. But if they're not ready to put cash on the table, you can ask them to pay with their time or with their reputation. Time means that they are ready to be engaged in co-creation of that product. They are ready to spend with you like a couple of days within a month or every 2 weeks to do workshops and to help you perfect the product, to test it, to give you some feedback. Reputation means when you say, Donatas, you said this product is really interesting. Who else do you think would benefit from it? Could you give me a couple of names? If they give you some names, then I would ask, hey, could you give me an intro via LinkedIn, Facebook, or just phone number or whatever, so that I could say that, you sent me. It means they lend their reputation to me. They introduce me to someone else. It means they believe in the product. If they say me only nice words, but they think, well, this product is crap, would they recommend me to someone else? No, obviously. So 3 ways of getting commitment. Yeah. Pre-sale tactics. I will go very, very short with this because you can get an extensive training when you go to the side. First thing first, pre-sale as a custom solution. If you are not sure, what to build exactly, what specifications, hey, I can build you this for 10K, 20K, whatever, just the scope is. If you go into the market and ask someone else to build it, it will cost like 40K, but I can build you for 10K. It's a no-brainer for you, and you will have a co-creation, you have some kind of a validation. And you look if you can sell it later on as a SaaS, just pre-selling as a custom solution. Smoke test, wizard of Oz, or minimal viable offer. Do you know what the wizard of Oz is? Or smoke test? Anything like this? A couple of people know? Okay. So it's generally, it's the claim that I will deliver this value, but it's not valid yet. When they come to it and say, well, I'm interested in it, they click on it, they add to cart and say, oops, it was the last seat or whatever, or we are just preparing to launch the beta, here's the waiting list, but you know they were interested, they clicked on it. Or you can simply say minimal viable offer. I will sort you out these things, maybe manually, but later on I will build a software on it. If you're interested in it, for the price of the software, I will do this manually. If they are ready to pay you, cool, you have this validation. Protocol of intentions or contract with payment terms. I prefer pre-sale agreement. You will pay me this much for a lifetime license or for a yearly license, and you will start paying us only then when we deliver the solution, install it, and train your people. And it meets tech specification in appendix number 1, and we don't miss the deadline, which is this one. If we miss the deadline or tech specifications, you are free to go. You don't have to pay us. But if we do it on time and according to tech specifications, you will start paying me this money. This is the agreement. This is safe agreement for them and kind of safe for you, if you are sure what you are doing. Founding membership opportunities, referral program. You can take not money, but if you invite 5 friends, you will get this for a year for free, kind of like, and you get referral programs on it. Yeah, pre-selling discount, pre-selling credits, waiting list with the price, plus follow-up to measure the temperature. This software is not available yet, but we're going to build it. We're going to launch it at that date. It's going to cost this much. If you want to be informed when it's available, just sign up. And you do the follow-up. Hey, are you truly interested, or just spying on us or whatever? Maybe you have some feedback. What would you expect from the software, other features, and et cetera, et cetera. And you see who is engaged, who is not. And ta-da! You have market-proven product specification if you went through this one. If you get a roadblock in one of those steps, what do? You get back and improve. You try to fix, because either the value proposition is bad, you did the market research wrong, or whatever. You try to find the root cause of it. Yeah, that's it. And when is the right time to present your offer, your ideas? When would you be willing to present your offer to potential customers of your software?
When you have like a clear vision.
That's good.
I would say doing, I'm not sure how many of the steps, but like already having a strong value proposition.
Exactly. When you have value proposition. Most founders say, well, when I'm ready with all tech specifications, I know what I'm going to build, then I go into the market and sell. Well, now I'm ready, step number 9. But yeah, so this is like pre-sale technically. But what we do in number 4 and number 8. When you do customer discovery interviews, initially you don't pitch your idea. You try to dig into the problem, try to understand it, and at the end of the interview, you might ask the question, hey, you know what? I'm actually building the software that should solve this problem. Would you be interested in that? I plan to charge like this much, and I plan that it will deliver this and this and that. Would you be interested for me to follow up with you, in a month or so, or in a couple of weeks? This is the soft pre-sale. If they say, yeah, this is amazing, but no, don't follow up with me. What does it mean? It's crap, there's no real problem. But yeah, sure, that's interesting, but the price is too steep. If it was like not 100, but like $20, maybe it would make sense. Okay, you got an insight. And then when you do channel and lead capture experiments, if nobody's clicking on your ads, what does that mean? Your value proposition, your message is crap, or you're targeting the wrong audience. But you already have to do that early on. Short story about the AutoPixie. I know that I'm going to miss a few slides because of time span. So do you want to hear the story of 4 key milestones that have to be achieved? Story or milestones? Story or theory? Story. Story, yeah, come on, how boring it can be with all these methods. So AutoPixie, the founder of AutoPixie was Patricia from Ireland. And you wouldn't believe me, she was over 60. a lady, startup founder, and AutoPixie was an app for auto repair shops, for mechanics. Lady, 60 years old, creating an app for mechanics. How crazy could that be, But if it was possible for her, so I believe anything is possible for you. And this is her value proposition. The app, what it will do, it's a B2B app for auto repair shops. First of all, you will have much faster decision making. When the customer brings the car into auto repair shop, mechanics goes through inspection and says, well, it's going to cost you this much. And he spends time explaining and telling all these things. And the customer says, man, it's too expensive. Maybe I should go to another one repair shop to get another opinion, and etc. And it takes time. For auto repair shop, it's a huge problem because the car stays in the garage. They can't fix it. They can't fix anything else. Come on, I just need to turn over. I just need quick yes or no. If it's no, I'm pulling it out, or if it's yes, I'm start fixing it. So the app does the heavy lifting. When you bring this car to auto repair shop, the mechanic says, well, install this app, and you will get my feedback, my diagnostics in the app. Brakes need to be changed. It's red. It's compulsory. It's going to cost you for spare parts this much, for my work this much. If you want, you can bring your own spare parts. I will put your own brakes, but come on, that's on you. Or all these ideas. Why do I need to fix this or that? App explains me, not the mechanic. And it's very extensive. And for us, if I'm stupid, dumb person, like I am in car industry, I know nothing about cars, just how to drive them. Okay, I might need more explanation, why it makes sense, to fix this. So app does this. In addition, zero paperwork. All the invoices, all the payments is done via an app. So you just imagine the mechanic who is like in till elbows in the oil, invoice. What? Come on, I have stuff to do, not to write down your invoices. Go through the app and get the invoice, that's it. And customer loyalty. Greet your customers with birthday, remind them that they need like a regular check of your car, maybe change their tires or whatever, and you will get back the same customer to your auto repair shop and do additional business. That's cool. So what she did, she interviewed 106 auto repair shops in 5 countries. Even though she was from Ireland, she decided to build a global app. Not just for Ireland, but globally from different countries. Some of those mechanics, owners of auto repair shops, were interviewed 5 or 6 times. What does that mean? She was coming back and back, digging deeper and deeper. And auto mechanics showed, because, well, she was not young, and I wouldn't say pretty, but she was not a young lady. Mechanics were not inviting her just to have a nice chat, but to talk about business 5 or 6 times. So come on. There has to be something. And she built 26 prototypes with PowerPoint. AI was not present there. So she built prototypes on PowerPoint showing if you click this, you will get to this screen, and etc. etc. What does that mean? 26 prototypes. Any clues? What a stubborn lady. She was 25 times wrong. 25 prototypes were crap. But the prototype number 26, she nailed it. And she came to 3 auto repair shops and she did the pre-sale. She said, well, I need 30K to build it. I have roughly about 15K. So if I get 15K from the market, I could start building it. She was totally wrong. It cost a lot more at that time. But she thought that this is like manageable. And she said, well, John, you already saw what I'm trying to build. If you want, I can sell you a lifetime license for 5K with all updates, upgrades. Yes, I'm gonna charge other users monthly fee or yearly fee, but it won't cost you anything else. And I can start building. 3 out of 3 said, yes, Patricia, take my money and build it faster. The result was that she got the government grant, about 20,000 euros, from the government support. Hey, just Patricia, go and build that stuff. She got contract for government investment. She got shortlisted into one of the world's top accelerators in the United States. An angel syndicate prepared $500,000 investment for her after she graduates the accelerator. Yeah. So I'm skipping all these milestones, and give you some value for the long run. Gosh, how many slides? Yeah, major shifts. Oh. 5 minutes? Cool, so we will keep those 5 minutes for questions. And here is the gift. Okay? With the code, Build Stuff 2025, you will get it for free for 1 month. Being a good marketer, I shouldn't tell you, but I'm an honest person. The code is active until December 31st. so as a marketer, I say, hey, just go grab now, secure your spot, I'll capture you as leads. But as an honest person, I would say, come on, this is for 1 month subscription. So you're gonna, during Christmas, after Christmas or whatever, you sign up for this and you have for 1 month access to all the content that I share with SaaS founders. So it's not a lead magnet, it's not a freebie, it doesn't ask you any credit cards, it's just pure value, and see it. So yeah, so what's inside? SaaS pre-sale marketing workbook, you will get it. AI toolkit, it's a buzzword a bit, but we use this wrapper, like how to do these tasks from marketing workbook with the help of AI. How to get your customer persona, how to do the market research, what your value proposition could be, and etc. Like you brainstorm with these specific tools, already pre-built prompts, some training material, and etc. We did with a couple of customers, and which usually took about 20 days to do the research. They did it in 1 day, in about 8 hours. Yeah, it was like about 90% of good stuff, 10% crap stuff, but still much, much faster. Before you invest, much more into this. You will even get the pre-sale agreement template with, legal advisors prepared, compared, yeah, that's it. Any questions? What was hidden in those slides that we quickly skipped? If you're curious, okay, I can show you these 4 major, yeah, these are. So when somebody comes to me with an innovative SaaS idea, I say, well, we should go through these 4 key milestones. The first one is real-world feedback. Do customer interviews. Do customer experiments, like put an ad and to see if they click, if you already did the interviews. And either mock-up or MVP, just demonstrate how the stuff will work actually. Patricia did it with PowerPoint. You can do this with explainer video. You can build, with anything, just to show how it works. The next milestone is revenue-ready demo. And it matters of few components. First of all, the demo quality. People who love their products, they speak about features. But that's the wrong way. Don't speak about features. Speak about, in the first place, the problem, and then adjust the feature that solves that specific problem. And each feature has to be a killer of a main problem. Gosh, your software solves this pain. Yes, it is. And then you add additional 2 or 3 features related to the problem. So this software solves this one, and that one, and that one. Just sign me up. Where is this gold? And obviously, you need to get in front of the right audience. Third milestone is early adopters advantage. It's the advantage for your customers to benefit from your offer. Because you either will sell them in the lifetime license, as Patricia did. You will have no subscription fees later on, just one-time fee for a lifetime license. Or you can sell them the lifetime discount. So whatever I'm going to charge for my software, you will get 50% off. If I raise the price, you still have like 50% off. This is the advantage for them. Advantage for you, you can co-fund the development of your software with customers' money. You don't need to go for fundraising. You don't need to get money to hire marketers. Just go talk to customers if they're interested, if you do pre-sales, if you lock in pre-sales. Gosh, we even worked with one customer who did the pre-sale of $20K per customer. They signed 3 agreements. It was enterprise software. And big company said, well, if you build until that, according to these specifications, we are ready to pay you $20K. So imagine, they already have on paper $60K. They go to investors, potential investors, and say, what's your attraction, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have 3 agreements. 3 enterprises are ready to pay us $20K each. It's $60K. All we need is about $100K to build the product, but we already have $60K back by customers. So please do that. And those who will reject your offer, don't reject them. Add them to your waiting list. Simply ask them, well, you're not ready to commit to my offer right now. I would ask, what's your objection? We have a separate module on objection handling techniques, like is it the price, timing, credibility, whatever, and you can find the ways how to turn around it. But ask them, if you can't handle that objection at that time, you simply ask, would you want me to let you know when the software is out and ready for testing? Just yes or no. If no, it means, well, we wasted our time together. But most likely, like in 90% or even more, they would say, yeah, sure, why not? Because we already had a party with you, trying to dive deeper into these things. We just, can't get the budget for your software before we actually test it, or it's not the right time, or whatever the reasons are. Sure, let me know when it's ready. And eventually, customer waiting list. The longer the better. Yeah, this is the example of my book. So, short note on the waiting list, just how important it is. When I was writing the book, for 9 months, I've been building the reader's waiting list. Just imagine if the book is a software, I was creating the waiting list. And on the launch date, I had 14,000 subscribers. So imagine, when I published the book on Amazon, I click the button send on MailChimp. 14,000 emails sent, and it was a sequence of 5 or 7 emails, like day after day, bam, 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 sending the book is out, it's now for the best possible price, blah, 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 plus you get bonuses, plus invite your friends, you will get mentorship free with me if you invite more friends, kind of stuff. And the Amazon saw that this is a huge traction, like, oh, the book was just published and hundreds of people are buying it. And what Amazon did, they printed that book and stored in their warehouse. It was print-on-demand book. It was self-published book. So usually when you do this stuff, somebody orders your book and they will get the book in few days because it has to be printed, glued, and shipped to you. But one person reached out to me and said, Jonikas, I ordered the book yesterday and now I got the postcode, like the message that it's coming to my way. How it's possible? I checked and Amazon says, in stock. So Amazon believed that this book has real traction, printed into the warehouse and started promoting it on the platform. So it was like a self-propelling effect of it. So build the customer waiting list while you build the software. Yeah. Any questions? I don't want to, to interrupt you from the coffee break.